Last year, we came to New York with the ambition of building bridges between Europe and the US. This was a long-term inspiring project aimed at further connecting and strengthening the economies and culture of these two great continents. The result was quite the opposite of what we expected. So about a month after our dinner here in New York, the President of the United States imposed 10% tariff on European countries and began a tough negotiation which tariff will increase to 20%. Europe, this is Europe, they reacted in a European manner, slow, bureaucratic, and with no clear direction. That was some European countries like Italy went as far as to say that these trade policies are actually good. And this reminded us a little bit of the behavior of Italians during wars. They always change sides. And this went on and on. Some members of the US administration called European parasites. And the tariff dispute triggered another area of disagreement involving technology regulations over by the European unions, which they enforce them on large American tech companies. It went on and on and on. Soon after, some sort of weak compromises were reached over these disputes. Another unusual diplomatic issue arose when the US administration expressed the willingness to acquire or maybe invade a big island called Greenland. And, this controversy, obviously, it's nice to understand also the reaction, because some Danish member of parliament, of the European Parliament, he addressed the President of the United States in a rather unusual diplomatic remark. Mr. President, fuck off. So, given these premises, as a European parasite, and most of all as an Italian, I am now faced with two choices. Continue pursuing last year's ambitious goal, or embrace a path of controversy and conflict. And you know what? I think I'm going to choose the second one. Why? Because I might get the opposite result. Okay? So listen to me carefully. So from now on, I propose that Italy will buy or invade Little Italy, and we'll call it Big Beautiful Italy. And I also propose that whenever an American tourist visits Italy, they should be fined for eating pasta with a spoon or for ordering cappuccino after lunch. So these fines will be increased if an American, either in the US or in Europe, orders a pizza with pineapple. Or most of all, if they claim that pizza was invented in the US. It was invented in Italy, and that's it. Well, having said so, we also advise very carefully to pursue these policies only until the stock and the bond market starts to correct. Because if that thing happens, we propose to achieve a quick compromise, obviously after declaring victory. So that's our proposal. Anyway, enough of this. Tomorrow I'm flying to Omaha to meet a young promising investor called Warren Buffett. He's going to turn 96 years old at the end of August. And he's looking forward to seeing me to speak about Europe. So we sincerely hope that we can maybe build a little bridge between Europe and the US. And maybe this little bridge can actually change the mindset of the financial market. And, with all this uncertainty, what I'm really certain tonight is that we got a really, really good group of people. And I'm really proud to have come here to the US. I arrived here 3 hours ago and see this such a wonderful energy. I mean, you're all different. You all have different experiences. You all have an entrepreneurial spirit. And I love this. And I'm always going to come back to New York, obviously, if they let me through the custom after the speech. Thank you. Good night.